entrepreneurs have the ability to delay gratification.
Yeah, I don't. I'm learning.
Black sheep boxing didn't happen in a night.
No, it didn't.
It happened in a couple of years.
4 garages and 9 heart attacks. And
whether you did it on purpose or not, it found you.
I just cared. And what combat sports did for me, I wanted the world to be able to experience that.
You do have a comeback story. You went as far down as you can possibly go. Some people sit there. For you, at some point, the only way was up.
You know why? My enablers. Everybody recovers different. Everybody, there's ebb and flow. And the biggest thing is you've changed. No shit. Isn't that the point? Your mind is trying to kill you and make it look like an accident.
What do you mean by that? So you created black sheep boxing for people who feel like the black sheep.
My mom was everything. And when she died, she won this award called the Studer's Award. It was issued out 1 out of 500,000 people. She would always think about other people. And I took that approach into the combat sport industry. Bad fucking idea.
Why?
Because people take advantage of you.
How did they take advantage?
You want to do this?
Welcome to the Sacred Thomas Podcast.
You mind if we say prayer?
Let's go.
Cool. Sky, you want to pray us in?
Yep. Thank you, God, for bringing us together in this moment. It's all for your glory. We just keep that mindset of unity, the mindset of helping others. And we thank you that you can use us in a positive light to reach, even if it's that one, it's worth it all. We claim in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Boom.
Amen. Thank you.
Awesome. So, all right, we're live. So, sitting down with Sky Wood and Jeffrey Meadows, the owners of Black Sheep Boxing. How y'all doing?
Well, very, very, very well. It's been a very productive day. I know it came up from Houston, so
Yep.
No
big deal. I make this drive, multiple times a month.
I know the beginning, there's so much to talk about, and just we're excited to be here. Sacred, thank you so much for inviting us out. It's going to be a good show.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to have both of you guys. I know you guys have some crazy things going on in your life that we'll probably get to at some point, but I want to first start here. And I was actually on your website and I was watching a video. And Jeff, this one's for you. You said, in and out of penitentiaries, in and out of all these institutions, so we created Black Sheep Boxing. Let's dive headfirst into that.
Well, my reality isn't another person's reality. So for me, it was, I have a brother and sister that's white picket fence, married, kids, repeated 7th grade twice, dropped out in 9th grade, went to ALC, AEP, Leo, The Rock, MTC, ISF, the McCabe Center, Safe P 3 times, and then, of course, penitentiary. And it's just like you, at an early age, one week I'm wearing Abercrombie and Fitch fucking necklace, because I want to fit in with the guy, Abercrombie and Fitch people, Then next week I'm wearing Jinkos, trying to skate, and the black sheep I never fucking fit in, and that's just like immediately where my brain goes, like whenever I made that statement. And same thing in prison. I was such the outcast in prison. I stayed to my fucking self. I jumped rope. I played chess. That was fucking it. And then I developed a hustle about after 2 years in. But And that hustle is the reason why I'm in the position I'm in today. And a lot of people don't know that. But that statement, man, it's just like, I know there's other people out there that feel the same way, where the way we dress, and we're not doing it for ourselves. We're doing it to fucking fit in or seek validation or whatever the hell it is, man. There's an underlying issue that you just can't pinpoint, you know? And I was working on detox at the time, and this will hopefully close that question for you. And this individual, this man, was just bawling his eyes out, coming off heroin, you know, and it was Warrior Boy Boxing at the time. My buddy Ray, phenomenal dude. And this guy said, "Man, I feel like the black sheep of my family." I look at him and I'm like, "Man, I appreciate it. Thank you." And he was like, "Why?" And I'm like, no big deal, no big deal. And unfortunately, he isn't with us today. He did end up overdosing on heroin shortly after that. And then it just became Black Sheep Boxing. And then then the beautiful snowball effect of fuckery happened. You know, and life just kept elevating. So, I mean, it's really what I got on that question.
So you created Black Sheep Boxing for people who feel like the black sheep.
Yes and no. I mean, of course, that's.
Let's go. Let's start from the beginning. How did it start?
It started with Blind Faith Clothing.
I still have the shirts in my closet.
A lot of people don't know this about me, but Sacred, you were there. You know, yeah. David Poku, and that was the darkest time of my life. But yet it looked like the most successful. So nobody fucking knows this about me. Nobody at the gym, none of my managers, nobody. And it's really crazy because when I would go tell my story, they would say, "How come you never talk about Black Sheep?" Like my close friends. And I say, "'Cause I got nothing to say." It's a part of me because I knew what it could have been. It was my first go at entrepreneurship. And man, we had something special. Or no, I don't normally say I statements, but I had something special because it was all me. You could even go right now, go to Instagram, and the fucker's still up. I just don't tell anybody. It's my faith is strong _ And it's a trip, man. It's I'm a little overweight, you know. Actually, no, I'm overweight. And it was just such a dark time in my life. Shoal Creek Hospital twice, mental hospitals, tried to kill myself. It was crazy though because it was such a contradiction at the time because we sponsored positive people that live positive lives. And our motto for Blind Faith Clothing was believing in the unknown and being sincere in your beliefs that the outcome of the future is going to be positive. It's all we cared about. Now, from a business standpoint, I'm like, dude, that's our target audience. It's everybody. You know what I mean? And I created this optical illusion in my head that I was actually doing something good. And I was doing good things for people, but for all the fucking wrong reasons. All the wrong reasons. And I still struggle with that today a little bit. You know, it's like, I'm not one to sit here and hide any of my fucking faults in life. None. And Sky's been, since we were 8 years old, this motherfucker's been right next to me. And I have never denied my faults. I have turned myself into prison multiple times where I wrote I've accepted my accountability in multiple ways that some people couldn't fathom. And it's crazy that now I have a platform to actually say that where people are going to hear that. But there's a lot of things that people just do not know about me. And back to the question, which please remind me again, Sacred.
I was saying, where did it all start? Black Sheep Boxing, but you went even further back to Blind Faith.
Yeah. So
before we actually move forward to that, you said with Blind Faith you were doing all of these things for all the wrong reasons. What do you mean by that?
It's the same concept why I started boxing. I started boxing for the wrong reasons. I started boxing so people would fear me. I didn't want to get in a fight. I mean, I did plenty of times, and him and his sister would love to record it. But I never wanted to fight. I almost had like that childlike, and this is just me being vulnerable and honest. Before I'd get in a fight, I'd be scared shitless, absolutely fucking just petrified, and then the switch goes off, and then everything's silent. And so even before Blind Faith Clothing, he told me one day that, hey, if you're going out with us tonight, man, like, actually, like, you can't come out with us, because I would search for it, and I'd do it subconsciously, going to 6th Street, or going around the neighborhoods or whatnot. And it's like, for some reason, I would seek it out. And I soon later found out why, through fucking intense bullshit, not bullshit, just intense therapy that I did not like. That made a lot of sense, and it was very on point. But, and then it just kind of like, it just rolled over, the boxing. And then I'll never forget, it was LA Boxing. And I actually just ran into Kenny at the Domain 3 nights ago. I haven't seen him in 14 years. And I get out of the car and whatnot. And this is a trip that you asked that. So cool, man. And this guy looks at me and he's like, Jeffrey Meadows. And I'm like, who the fuck are you, man? And then he's like, Kenny, LA Boxing. And I was just like, my God. He was the first person that I ever sparred.
Wow.
And he'll tell you to this day that he put it on me. he did, but he couldn't beat my timing. He could not beat my timing. And I hit him a couple good times, and then he just said, he's like, who the fuck is this? And then he laid into me. And I didn't drop. I didn't kneel. But that was the first time that I actually got to feel like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then I fell in love. Just completely engulfed in the love of the sport. And then the universe decided to take me down another path. And that's dropping out and being incarcerated probably for the next, on and off for the next 7 years.
You said dropping out of what?
Well, after...
And can you move the mic a little closer to your face?
So
you can move the mic. You don't have to move yourself.
I don't know how this fucking works.
just put it right slightly below you like this.
Okay, we good? Good?
Yeah.
All right. So, Miss Roethlisberger. She's an amazing woman, by the way. I'm just going to say that, end that on that positive note. She held me back. I was like 2 points shy of what I needed. And I remember her saying, you got to repeat 7th grade. And so after that, then repeated 9th grade. And then I just said, F it, having a single mother, worked at Polly Ryan, God bless her heart. We did what we wanted as kids. Like, we grew up in Houston. Like, me and him, we grew up a block away.
Yep. 2 blocks away. I remember the first time I met you, I had just moved into the neighborhood, got on the bus, and we're part of the rollerblade community, which is very, like, there's a rollerblade community? No. This is aggressive inline, so it's grinding shit.
In the 90s.
In the 90s, like getting after it. And, so it was very rare that you came across another
Yeah.
You know, skateboarders, BMX, all that shit. There was everybody everywhere. But stepped onto the bus, and it was kind of like the Forrest Gump. It was like the Forrest Gump. Yeah, we're the minority, but it was like the Forrest Gump, like seats taken. Like, you know, I'm stepping into this, 6th grade, you know,
We're
and
11.
everybody's already got their friends and their cliques and whatnot. And I step on in the middle of the year and step on the bus, and I'm just looking like, oh shit, this looks like a full ass bus. And then Jeff, I remember he like told somebody to get up. He was like, no, you get up and go find another spot. And he was like, hey, come sit with me. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Okay, cool. And I noticed, holy shit, that white England clothing,
if I can,
hoodie. And that's a brand that only another, inliner would recognize. And from that point on, it was like, holy shit, found a brother in the aggressive inline, sport. So
never dreamed.
So that was where it started.
Yeah.
And
that's
we would pretty much on a daily, it was a matter of like starting at my house, I go get Jeff, and then we go into Greatwood and pick up all the rest of the skate crew. And by the end of it, we've got 8, 9, 10 people.
And we're the poor kids.
Yeah, we were on the other side we were on the other side of the tracks.
Nobody wanted to rollerblade with us.
And that's where I picked up filming. That's where I picked up filming because, Cody Dryden, shout out, dude, you had a big role in where I'm at today. He was selfless enough to give me his camera. I remember it was a mini DV camera. And I was like, whose camera is this? It's just, I've been here a few times. I've noticed it's in the same spot. And he's like, dude, take it, start filming with it and, do something with it. And I was like, you ain't got to tell me twice. Mm-hmm. Bam, I start filming with it. And I'm thinking, we're doing all this crazy, extreme sports. Somebody's got to be filming this. And this is before the time of everybody with an iPhone that anybody and everybody had a phone. And everybody I was the only one with the camera at that time.
Digging a 10-foot hole that's about 5 foot wide for no fucking reason and trying to jump over it.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Horrible idea. Absolutely horrible.
So when the camera busts out, people start doing some ridiculous shit. So that was, kind of the earlier stages. And it's really cool that we're still in touch with, that it was such a bond that we created through that,
Eric Baye,
Yep, Grant Norton.
Yeah. And I think that's honestly, man, like, not to get it, like, I'm sensitive. You know what I mean? And like, I really am. And after so many years of just stuffing positive, these endorphins and dopamines down, because of the environment you're in, people search their entire lives for a friend like this. Hands down, don't give a fuck what you say. They search, whether it's a life partner, a wife, a best friend. Like, this is so fucking rare. And I like to think because we have so much of the same similarities, regardless of what anybody fucking says. We are put on this earth to help people. And my mentor tells me time and time again, Jeff, it's none of your fucking business what people think about you. And ever since we were a kid, he didn't have clothes. I would never forget. I would literally take my pants off, give them to him, and I'd run home and grab another pair of jeans. Like all the rain stuff.
Yep.
Like, no,
I had clothes, but he was like, no, I got to get you in the name brand shit. Like he always, to this day. Well,
it was rain.
It was rain.
One of a
it
kind,
was like Razor. All the skate clothing.
Viewers are like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, what is that? I don't know, Rain.
Google Rain.
REIGN. Yep.
90s rollerblade jeans. They're fucking cool, man.
But let me step in for just a sec and just say that the desire that is just burning in our hearts, there's a lot of things that pull us away from this and try to pull us away from this desire. But ultimately, at the end of the day, no matter what, whoever screws us over or whatever happens, the circumstances change. But our desire deep down in our heart is to, help and inspire. And that's why I love martial arts. I've been, a lifelong martial artist since I was 9. And my dad started the gym in 92 and yada, yada, yada. Now we run, we have a gym in Houston. And then we teamed up and just totally changed the game up here. And I know there's a lot of people looking in thinking there's a lot of drama there at Black Sheep, but ultimately it's just, if you're doing everything right and under the radar, everything's gonna be smooth sailing. But if there's some shit popping off and there's some drama happening, then you might want to check twice, because they might be doing something right. And who are you going to follow? Are you going to follow the people that are talking about, this, that, and another, whatever, the noise? No, we're going to let that all just settle, and we're going to keep pressing forward, because I feel like it's all just a distraction to try and keep us from what we're called to do. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that really is what.
So my audience doesn't really know about the drama that's going on. We're gonna actually get to that right now. Right now, I want to focus on. You both started Black Sheep Boxing. Mm-hmm. I know it started in your garage.
No, this started in one of my closest friends, Ray Price, 6'6".
Ray Price.
You know Ray, 6. Right?
Maybe.
Yeah, so I got out of the penitentiary March 24, 2017. I had about 6 months of chaos. And it wasn't because I was an alcoholic. It was because I had a Jeff problem. And the alcohol was my solution to the problem. I'm going to go into something that a little off topic, but everybody recovers differently, whether it's codependency, whether it's alcoholism, whether it's attention seeking. The thing is we all tick differently. And if you can never develop an awareness on why these patterns are continue to surface, well, without an awareness, you can't identify the bad habit, and you can never implement change. And how do you develop an awareness? Through fucking accountability. And people walk around here, and everybody have all these enablers, and that's why people either die or they don't change. And they're 40 years old and they're still, excuse my language, bitching about the same shit that they were bitching about 30 years ago, because nobody ever held them accountable. And even if they did, they got defensive, or they held them accountable out of a place of resentment and not love and compassion. That's the big thing. Like when him and his wife, man, that's fucking shit. Fuck. They're amazing. But if I'm fucking up, like, they're going to come at me from a place of love, like straight love. Like, Jeff, we care about you. Like, not, Jeff, you know what I mean? Like there's that. And when that happens, that switch never goes off. And because you have this, you just want to listen. And if you truly care about those people, you're going to take it into consideration and you're going to implement it. And it takes 30 days to develop new habits. Write that shit on a mirror, man. Like, give somebody spiritual spiritual fucking guidance to give you accountability. Or is it spiritual? It's a fucking phrase we used to use. But anyway, but you're giving somebody the right to hold you accountable. So when he does, you can't get fucking pissed off, because it's like a spiritual contract. Mm. It's one of my favorite terms. And I got a little off topic, man, but that's just so fucking important to me. And to me, that's what separates us from a lot of fucking people. Like, by no means sacred, I'm not a fucking saint. And I'm not trying to be a fucking saint. I don't want to be a saint. I want to live my life. I want to touch hot stoves. I want to learn and I want to grow. But I will tell you this, and I know people could testify, and I know you can too, Sacred. I have never gone out of my way to hurt somebody. Never. Mm-hmm. Have I hurt people? Abso-fucking-lutely. Have I done it on purpose? Absolutely not. I do it because my selfish thoughts, and I put, well, I'm busy or this or that, and then I don't put other people's feelings into consideration until I touch the hot stove, I burn myself, and that person holds me accountable out of a place of love. And then I rarely ever do it again. And there's some people out there that know who I'm talking about that could testify for that. And I just think that's the answer to fucking most problems.
Do you think accountability is how you went from the path you were on to the path you're on now, the path you were on before Black Sheep?
Small role.
What was the pivotal point that changed your path?
My why.
What's your why?
At the time?
Yeah, what was your why at the time?
I remember calling him, and I'm gonna get emotional. I could not stop drinking. And the people, like, I drink now. You know what I mean? Like I don't hide shit from nobody. But the thing is I had this Jeff problem. I was molested as a kid. I'm not looking for no pity party, but this is just my story. This is just my truth. And the world owed me something, and I had a chip on my shoulder, and you look at me wrong, and I had to install fear in people. And this is, and I was scared to fight. You know, it's almost like if you, as I was saying, if you talk about like you drive a really big truck, that means you gotta
A little.
You know what I mean? It's like it's almost like the same concept. You know, you go searching for a fight, and most of the times you can't fight. I was very fortunate enough that I was okay, but it was just, I don't know. It's I just had this piece in me, this resentment, and over the years I realized that when you're blocked off from having some type of connection to not just people, I call it God because it's relatable, spirituality, that being blocked off, like, can you, for right now, Sacred, can you think of a people, place, or thing where you're just like, oh, motherfucker. Like anybody. You just like, you think about it and you're just like, motherfucker. Like just.
Oh, someone that I.
Yeah, just anything.
People, place, or thing.
Yeah, people, place. I think of TDC and I'm like, those fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah, it's hard for me to think, but I mean, there's I have some people that.
Yeah, but
those types of things, people, places, and things, they don't really sit at the forefront of my mind. So it's when you ask me that question,
they fester. They fester. They're this big that we don't notice them, and then 3 years later, they grow. And you got 20 of them that grow and they fester and you don't realize it. And those resentments, they block you off from your connection with whatever God you pray to. Again, my personal beliefs.
Yeah, how I see it is like a duck when the rain drips on its back and it rolls off. Some philosophical shit. Because that's what my mom, embedded in me. She's like, no, just let it roll off.
Yeah,
like a fucking, like a duck in the water. Shoot. And that's because I've seen shit. I saw it with my stepdad. He died from no specific reason or another except for the fact that he held on to things. He held on to every last thing from when he was, a kid. And I know that because he told me, and he told me time and time again. So I'm like, okay, it's definitely still there. And I'm like, I will not go out that way. God rest his soul, but it's like a lesson learned. Don't hold shit in. You got to just let it roll, and you can't let it fester. Instead,
the opposite.
So you guys have let things fester, or you?
No.
Oh no, me. They're fester.
Yeah. You've let things fester. Let's go back. What was your why at the time?
Man.
And then can you, whenever you move, just move the mic.
I got you, bro. I'm gonna be a pro with this shit. Oh, okay. So,
So
anyway, you could edit that shit out.
But
can you hear me?
Actually, stay a little bit closer because your shot, like the wide, all the way in that corner is pretty.
I got you, bro.
You're
Go
getting
check
a
this
little
out.
tight.
Hold on, man.
See, we
look,
don't got a lot of room
it's called making
in this room.
adjustments.
Yeah.
No.
Your ADD is crazy right now.
Bro, I'm nervous.
I got you, bro.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
You know, I used to talk in front of people all the time.
No, you're good.
Something about today is just nerve wracking.
No, you're good. You're good. So we'll go back. So, what was your why at the time? Back then,
It was
whenever
my
you
mom.
whenever you had, I'll actually rephrase it so we can just cut and start here. We're not going to start the podcast here, but for this question, whenever you had a pivotal moment in your life where you changed the direction of your life, you said the reason that you changed was because you had a why. What was your why back then?
It was a collaboration of things. Why do I need to be a good person? Why do I need to be a good son? Why do I need to stay out of fucking penitentiary? Why do I need to be a good brother? Why do I need to be a good boyfriend? The why, it kept going. But when that why is so powerful, I'm talking so powerful, there's a saying that when you want to be as successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you will become successful. And there was nothing that could, it's just like, you just know, like, I truly think a lot of people go through this life and they never experience what a real why is because they never knew hell. They never knew Hades. They never knew what it's like to live in a fucking sardine can at 120 heat index where you could touch both walls to where you had to pull the mats off the metal slab and dump a baby powder on it just so you don't stick to it. That's hell. And whenever you understand and you experience hell on earth, if your perception doesn't shift, you're just a fucking psychopath. Because I wouldn't wish those dark times on anybody. And like my good friend, one of my closest friends, Cedric, he just did 5 years and during COVID. So now what I'm explaining to you times fucking 10, people are dying left and right. Like the Texas Department of Justice system, it when I got out, that why wasn't powerful enough. Penitentiary scared me sober for a couple months. And then this is just my story. I just gotta say it. So my mom found me naked in my backyard with fucking her car parked all fucked up. And she woke up and she said, I never want to see you again. I had $800. I called, I Googled sober living, and this is a really amazing story. I just Googled sober living near me. At $800, I was bartending at the time at RC Fowler's. My girlfriend, she was the bar manager. We lived together, and you got to go. So anyway, I go to this place called Eudaimonia, and I walk in, there's these three, I thought they were counselors, man. Stephen Long, Terry, God rest her soul, she's passed recently, and Colleen. And they are never in the same office, and they're spread out across Texas. And I think they're like some counselors or some shit. So anyway, I come in, I sign my paperwork, I'm driving into sober living, and Stephen Long, old Stephen, and you know what I'm talking about. He's still to this day train him. Him and his son come to the gym. Beautiful story behind him, And he calls me and he goes, "Hey, is this Mr. Platt?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir. Who is this?" "This is the director of operations. Can you please turn around and come back in here?" "Yes, sir." Whatever. He's like, "Dude, I could smell alcohol on your fucking breath. I cannot let you in." And I'm like, "Okay, so now what?" Then he's like, "Go stand out there." And then these three amazing people, man, they're just shooting the shit for a minute. I come back in and Colleen has an address on a sheet of paper. And she says, "Jeff, do you want help?" Back of my mind, I'm like, fuck no. I got nowhere to go. Girlfriend said she's done. Mom said she's disowning me. And I remember she goes, we see something in you. Their exact words. They said, "Jeff, we see something special in you. We see a gift of desperation that we haven't seen in a while. And here's an address. If you want help, drive to this address." And I drive. It's called, not Brackenwood. It's the Detox, Briarwood Detox. And I drive out there, man, and I drive up and down that street for a fucking hour, almost running out of gas, like self-talk, right? Self-affirmations and self-character assassinating, and just like can't figure out, like, am I going to go in this? Am I going to do this? This is my first time. Like, I've been to therapeutic communities, SMART program, Safe P, MTC, all that jazz, but that's different. You know what I mean? This is because I want to go. Actually, I didn't want to go, but I didn't have a choice. But I said, fuck it. I turned myself in, or I didn't turn myself in. I walked in and volunteered, and they scholarshiped me. And it is extremely rare to get the type of scholarship that I received. And they spent $170,000 on me. Probably
to help you get better.
Yep. Because they said they saw something in me. And you stay in detox for 5 days. And I guess I was just special. And I stayed there for 3 fucking weeks. You don't even go to meetings in detox. They would come pick me up twice a week and they would drive me to a meeting on their own time. They issued me a counselor in there. You don't get a counselor when you're in detox. Detox, you detox from medication, then you go to a step down program, a treatment, IOP, OP, whatever that looks like. And I transitioned. And then I get out and I'll start speeding this up. And anyway, so then I get out and they did all this nice stuff for me. And I go work for my buddy, Teddy Dibb. I don't know if y'all know Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy.
Teddy Dibb.
There we go.
Yeah.
Jet skis with Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy, what's going on? He's going to probably hate me for this, but fuck it. So I go start car detailing for him. I'm a horrible car detailer. Horrible. And man, within, he hands me his card. He says, "Hey, Jeff, will you go to the store and give me a pack of cigarettes and a 5-hour energy?" Cool. I get me a 5-hour energy. And this is when I soon realized that it's not the substance that I put in my body. It's me. It's my internal condition. And holy fuck, man, I'm like 3 5-hour energies in 20 minutes. That was a bad day. I'm calling my sponsor. I'm like, "Is this considered a relapse, this and that?" And he was like, "Well, I mean, kind of, but we're not going to reset your date." But anyway, that was the first time that I realized that it doesn't matter if it's codependency, if it's shopping, if you're doing something that changes the way you feel and you want more and more and more and more, that's an issue. Because a lot of people go to the bars, Sacred, because they like the effect it produces. I went to the bars because it fixed me.
How did it fix you?
Oh, in a million different ways. Now I could talk. Now I feel more comfortable in my own skin. Now I feel like I fit in. It took everything away. And then you black out. And then it wreaks havoc. And so I went down, I'm gonna skip about 5 years of straight shit. His wife literally said, "You are not allowed to hang out with him ever again."
We don't have to go into that night. It was a fun night.
It was amazing. Allison is an amazing woman, and I'm so.
But I do want to say something that was fun that night is we did end up back at the gym.
I don't remember.
And it was hilarious because we ended up in the gym. He's pissed. He's trying, he's seeking that. And normally back in
about that night.
Yeah, we got it on film.
Yeah, we have it on surveillance at my gym in Houston. And rewind back, he would normally beat people up for talking shit about me. And I just thought everybody liked me in high school. I was like, oh man, I'm the shit, and then it turns out Jeff is like my personal bodyguard because he just took it personally. Anytime anybody would say anything about me, because I had, I
was within you, my friends.
I've had a pure soul, and I'm not out to get anybody. I'm always out to help. So he was like a guardian angel in that time of my life. And you and John Sanchez.
Yes.
Shout out to John Sanchez.
Oh,
from the outward looking in, this dude is a bad dude. But no, he's got a great heart. Maybe the system, whatever. We're not going into detail. Love you, John.
No.
Love you, John. But no, and just moving forward from there, just having back then you stepping up for me. And then here we are fucking continuing. Surveillance. Thank you for bringing me back. So then
it's so good. We were with Bobby Guzman.
Yeah. And so we ended up at the gym and now he's wanting to beat my ass, but it wasn't me. It was just, he just wanted to fight.
No, I was drunk.
It was drunk. And and we ended up at the gym and sure enough, and I had been doing jujitsu for about a year before. I think I started about a year before.
You've been training for like 7 years.
But then before that, I've been doing all sorts of other shit. But, and I was like, okay, this is the deal. You can, punch and whatever you want to me, but I can't strike. And I can only, use my grappling skills. He just comes wild. I'm fucking and then
never trained before.
Okay. All right. Reset. Okay. Then he's getting more and more mad. In the background, your boy is like seriously having, with Bob, those Bob bags. He's just, so seriously fucking this guy up.
He's headbutting him in the background. We're all hammered.
Him. Fucking stomping him. So that's going on in the background, which we're still trying to find this footage.
Yeah.
Like I have it. I have all the surveillance, but it's just so many hours and days that, we will definitely release that to the community eventually. Like you will be rewarded with that. But I thought that was kind of just a, hysterical point.
I just remember saying.
Then the next morning, that's when Alice was like, y'all can't ever hang out again. Like it's done.
Yeah. Well, you also ran from the cops that night.
That was that night.
Yeah, you literally.
I had the Genesis.
Bro, that was fucked up.
Do y'all want to know more about that?
I was like, I literally surrendered. I said, I'm going back.
So it was basically going through a 4-way intersection. We're hauling ass. We're in my Genesis.
Where we come from?
We don't have to say.
Yeah.
We're coming in and everything slowed down. And you turn and look, and then I saw the lights come on as we're going through. And then, man, I hope I'm not incriminating myself right now. Yeah, and we just, I was like, it's that split second, like, I was like, dude, he ain't gonna, no, we're just gonna keep going. And then bam, we turned in and, just kind of hung out under a tree in some shadows for a moment. Then got home and was like, we didn't hurt anybody. It was all good. We're good.
I made it for a minute.
But I did that for Jeff. Okay. So I did do some things to.
I still owe you $100.
I know. Oh, yeah.
I do. Yep. I really do.
I remember. It's flashback.
Wow. I got you after this.
Not necessary.
Fuck it. All right. Anyway.
Good times. Good times.
Man, but it just got dark. And I get a lot of kickback from this, and I'm okay with it. Everybody recovers different. Everybody, there's ebb and flow, and the biggest thing is you've changed. No shit. Isn't that the point? To change, of course, in a positive, healthy manner. But back to that why. When that why becomes so powerful, sacred, the how becomes easy. And when I got out, that why was so powerful. And there was nothing that was going to fucking step in my way. I knew exactly what I wanted to do in life. And it was to help people. But I wanted to help people. So a lot of people don't know this about me. And they think I just woke up one day and decided, let me box. Or like, let me put some gloves on. I actually studied anatomy, kinesiology, vitamins, minerals, recommended daily allowances. I could break down more I could break down polypeptide bonds and how I could go into it for days. No toxicity from vitamin C up to 2,000 milligrams. Like I could go into, and I studied and studied and studied, and then I would help inmates lose weight based off the money they have coming in on their commissary 6 months up to their discharge date. And I would do that through combat sports. Studied weight transition, years, and that's where, and I boxed before that at LA Boxing, with Kenny. Kenny was he looked like what was it, Chris Tucker, right? The comedian? Mm-hmm. Looked exactly like Chris Tucker, but younger. Goofy kid, super, super nice. And then after LA Boxing, of course, got incarcerated. I think I went to ISF, MTC and Hendrickson after that. And that was like dog eat dog. And, it just evolved in its own way. And it was just something I was always good at. But then I hit a point in my life to where I hated it. I hate fighting. Will I? If somebody provokes me enough, like most of the time, no. Like you could ask Sky, like I go home these days. There's been a couple incidents recently because my mom just died where it did almost come to fruition, as I think that's the fucking word or some shit.
Fruition?
Fruition.
Yeah, fruition, whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I like fruitation.
Yeah, I was gonna say come to surface, but I'm like
that was a little more original.
But we're on a podcast. That sounds smart, And I remember I was with this amazing woman the other night, and she's such an amazing person. And we're driving, and these three people, they do something. And we're in one of the vehicles, and I slam on the brakes, and I open up the car, and she grabs my arm, and she goes, "If you ever do anything like this again, I will never talk to you again." I say, "Yes, ma'am." And I took that at heart because I haven't acted like that in a long time. And all the shit that I have been through this past year, and I don't want a fucking pity party. But if you lived 2 weeks in my fucking shoes right now, you know what? I got no answer to that because it's just going to come off really shitty. Mm-hmm. And that's just the truth. But it's just like, it's this ebb and flow of life. And having that awareness that we talked about, I know we're going off topic, but this is just really on my heart. Having that awareness to say yes, ma'am, to respect and put their feelings before yours, because that's embarrassing. I get out, I hurt somebody hurts me, then what? Go to jail? You lose the person that you're intrigued by, Like, what comes of it? But you don't think about that in real time. Real-time accountability, that's a perfect example of what real-time accountability. Not waiting until you get home and then you hold them accountable. Real time. You don't do it in public. You pull them to the side and you bring it to their attention. And because she did that, she probably saved me from a lot of shit. But now, I just laugh and go home. If something similar happens. But yeah, and I got off topic, but I mean, it's all fucked in my head, to to be honest with you guys. After losing mom and everything's blending together with just everything, you know, I'm not going to get in on it. And, you know, lying, stealing, just the people. I hope they have good hearts. I truly believe it. I'm in with that.
Well, I know you've definitely been through a lot. As recently throughout your whole life. How has Black Sheep Boxing, do you have any stories about how Black Sheep Boxing has changed your life or anyone's life that attends or who attends the gym?
It changed my life in the beginning, but I'll pass this. In the beginning, not in the end. No, not at all.
Do you have any stories of how Black Sheep Boxing has helped someone? Because you say Black Sheep Boxing, it's at first you started it out with taking in people who have gone through some shit.
Yes.
Do you have any stories on how that's helped change any life,
Absolutely.
anyone's life specifically?
Absolutely. I'm not saying this to boast because I didn't do it. I believe that God did it through me because I remember when I talked to Sky, it was very clear cut. I remember looking at him, I said, I have this very clear vision. 24-hour boxing facility, no house fees, don't charge people for training. And it was just so clear, and I started it. Christian Tanner was the first one. And he's actually one of the reasons why I launched everything. I applied what I learned in prison. We worked at Recovery Unplugged together. We lost 80-something pounds. Complete transfer. Amazing. And then it just snowballed. I mean, the quality of my life it elevated so fucking fast, bro. Like so fast. And another amazing story is Hickman.
Yep, I remember being in Colorado when he called.
What's his story?
He called me. He was in treatment. He was fucking broken. He's a pro fighter. Absolutely fucking broken. And I said, bro, you're good. We got you. He came up. I paid, and I'm not saying this for validation, but these are factual statements, and this is just an example of what we do for people. And nobody knows this. I didn't do this and go fucking tell anybody. I paid half his fucking rent, my own fucking money. I developed a sober living house with a buddy at the time, and I created the garage into a boxing gym. And it was the first combat sport sober living house in the world that we knew of. And then, but then he joined the gym. He started training, and he was coming off a loss, I believe. And then his 1 or 2 fights he went out with, just phenomenal knockouts, just killed it. And then he retired, and he's still sober today. Luis Severese, former heavyweight champion of the world. I helped him get sober 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, I remember when you called me, you were like, I can't tell anybody, but I gotta tell somebody.
Well, I don't work there now. So
yeah, so we can definitely talk about it finally.
This guy, he fought George Foreman, Mike Tyson. He knocked out James Busted Douglas in the first round in 98. And I'm sitting with this individual for 3 months. And this is why it's so hard for me to live the life I live today, because I built an image on something that I was. And people don't want to accept the fact that people change and they can live a life and be managed when they're labeled an alcoholic. It's rare, but it is fucking possible. I don't recommend it for everybody. There was a very specific way I went about testing the waters. Did I have a bad run? But Lou, he called me yesterday. He is the most sincere person in the world, man. And he's like a real live Rocky. He owns Main Street out in Houston, works with, Crew Bob and all those cats, Derek Lewis. And he is just fucking, people that struggle with severe mental health, if they could overcome it, they are some of the most passionate, driven individuals I've ever met in my life. You got Josh, my buddy Heater. He won't get pissed off, but he's the general manager of one of the biggest bars in the domain. And he's sober. And he works in the bar industry.
What do you think it is about combat sports that helps make these people a better person?
Oh, that's easy. I remember when Stephen Long asked me, he goes, Jeff, go ahead and give me a pitch. We were sitting at the Detox in Infinite Recovery, and I was a tech at the time. He said, you want to bring boxing to treatment? And I'm like, bro, we had this conversation last week. Like, of course. Like, this shit. Like, what are you doing right now? He said, we just bought a property in Liberty Hill. I was like, Steven, what are you saying? He said, I'm going to give you this amount of square feet. Do what you want. And I remember I had to come up with a pitch that night. And I won't forget this because I thought I broke my fucking wrist because I was just anger punching a heavy bag. And if anybody, like, try this out. Let's say, Sacred, you're having just a really hard day, bro. Really challenging day. Wrap your hands, put gloves on, and start punching a heavy bag. Tempo work, light work, right? Like, just pop, 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 pop. You're not heavy. Mm-hmm. And then tell me what the fuck you were thinking about when you got done.
You forget it.
Not just that. People that struggle with any type of mental health, we're in the past or we're in the future. I'm focused on the finances. I'm thinking about that girl that's just, whatever. I'm thinking about the job. I'm thinking about I gotta get my engine fixed. And I always hated whenever a counselor was like, take your shoe off and let's rub your foot in the dirt. I'm like, man, that shit don't fucking work for me. I'm like rubbing my foot in the dirt thinking about, damn, man, I got bills and
Mike.
Oh, my bad, bro. Yeah, I'm learning.
Go ahead, no, you're good.
And but that was the biggest thing for me. So I got you. We forced ourselves to live in the present, right? And it's the most natural way to ground yourself. I'm thinking about missing these punches. I'm thinking about where my head's going. I'm thinking about where my feet are going, not getting hit. I'm not thinking about anything else. And then the second part is we have a chemical imbalance. And now we're balancing out a chemical imbalance a natural, healthy way, then forcing these chemicals to balance out through pharmaceuticals, right? Or codependency, or whatever that is. Brigham Bueller, Ways to Well, check him out. Amazing fucking dude. He just had some on Joe Rogan's, and he will break it down. Pharmaceuticals. Absolutely. It's educational. I highly recommend it. And that was my pitch. It's that simple. The two biggest things we struggle with. We can't fucking ever live in the fucking present. And we have, how are we going to balance out this chemical imbalance a very natural, healthy way? Diet, exercise.
So you say combat sports helps you learn to live in the present. How do you translate to life after you're done hitting the bags?
Therapy. Friends, processing shit.
Community within the gym.
Community. If you lay down with the fucking dogs, you get up with the fleas.
What does that mean?
If you hang out with shit people, you're going to become shit. You hang out with people that lie, steal. Let me say that again. You hang out with people that lie, steal from people that bend over backwards for you, you can only go so far until your true colors show. It's like you. This is a little like you find your girlfriend or your boyfriend downtown. Most of the time, you're going to lose them downtown. It makes sense to me. And so I don't surround myself with anybody really. Because for me, if it's not Sky, you, maybe a couple other people, for some fucking reason, I have a target on my back. And it's shitty. There's a lot that I could have done better. But the thing is people forget what gratitude is. And they think that because they express gratitude, everything's okay. But gratitude's an action. It's not a feeling. And I think that's where that discontent is. And then resentments, of course. But again, what your question was, man, it's been a fucked up year. It's been a really fucked up year. We're on the uphill of things. But I'll say it one more time. It has been a fucked up year.
I know it. Sky knows it. The audience has no idea. But we will get to that. Right now, I do want to keep focused on the positive aspects of Black Sheep Boxing. But we will absolutely get to that. It's just whenever you bring it up, no one knows what y'all are talking about.
Yeah, no, it's hard just because there's a lot of emotion.
Yeah, and I know that's on the forefront of your head.
No, there's countless positive stories. I mean, they never end. The stories never end.
What's some of the stories that you remember?
Well, let's rewind back to, we have our gym in Houston, and basically got to a point, COVID hit, this and that. We had to start getting creative, figure out, okay, what are we going to do? We just lost half our student body. We're not going to be able to continue like this. Mm-hmm. One of my black belts hit me up, and was Wesley. He's a realtor in New Braunfels. He was like, hey, come out here, and there's a lot of opportunity. And I'm like, I'm not ready. I got to figure out this. So how am I supposed to open up another spot? I got to figure out what I got going on right now. Went out to New Braunfels. While I'm there, I have this vision. I have like a cinematic vision. Kind of, I'm sure you have a similar where you can just see it, in your mind. And you're just like, okay, I can see it once we try and match that. So we show up at this place. I'm like, no, I know right through it. But I'm going to, I came out of here and I'm going to entertain it a little bit just so it's not like rude or anything. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but I'm in my mind like, nope, this is definitely not it. I don't see this. And so we're walking through, we're talking, and I'm like, yeah, this is not, that's not, good. And then phone rings, Jeff call, yo, what's up? I'm doing what you doing? I'm doing a walkthrough, potential new spot for Unity. And he just, his exact words, I remember it like it was yesterday. Fuck that. Come to Austin and let's change the fight game. And he said, and before that, I'd been going out and just spending time. I was like, dude, I just want to spend time with you. We're fucking homies, and we're, doing some boxing and just hanging out and going to the collectible shop and looking at shit. And just like, it was like a flashback to back in time, just like we were kids again, and just training and whatnot. And he was like, I have a very vivid vision of, there's a need. I mean, especially COVID, and we have the noise saying, oh no, this is a terrible time. This is the absolute worst time you could ever open up a gym. Don't do it. And I'm like, just hold on. Let's just let that settle and let's get quiet. And, if this is truly something that we need to do, and it was a gamble. It wasn't like, oh yeah, let's do this because this is for sure we're going to make money like that. We didn't even take a paycheck till recently.
We didn't get a loan.
We didn't get a loan. We used our own money that we saved up if we had, and we threw it in, and we're like, look, let's do this with the full intention of, never did we think we were going to get paid doing this. It was the intention of, there's a need right now, and we have to.
What was the need?
The need is the people. I mean, look at all the problems that came with COVID. People are in their homes, just compressed mental health. It all really just comes out of that. People overdosing. Jeff telling me the shit is skyrocketing like right now, and people are dying left and right, and nobody's talking about it.
And I'm living it.
So you guys initially started taking in people who were dealing with substance abuse, and this was almost like a therapy for them?
Mental health.
Mental health?
No. It was substance abuse.
Definitely catered towards
In the beginning. Yes, yeah.
Yes, and then it opened up to a broader spectrum of like what we're all.
From a business standpoint, we didn't want people, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but we didn't want people to think, well, I don't struggle with mental health, so I can't train here. So we made it a program within the facility. You know what I mean? Just from a business standpoint. It's still, we scholarship 2 people a couple days ago. Somebody came in yesterday, just got out of sober living. Like we haven't skipped a beat, And it's, but no, it started off in Ray's garage on South 1st Street called Warrior Boy Boxing. And it was specifically people with mental health and substance abuse. And when I worked at Recovery Unplugged, and then, 3 garages later and all that kind of jazz.
Run through that. I know you've probably told this story a million times, but my audience hasn't heard it.
Okay, yeah, no, man, later. I still don't understand how it's happened. I look back, it's absolutely, I call it God, spirituality, but it's definitely something that was higher than myself. And within 3-4 weeks, HOA kicked us out of Ray's fucking house. And, Ray's, he's just met, Mika.
Was Ray the first garage you were training in?
Yeah. Okay, I think that's the first time that was somebody, that was fucking, him, but D. Kane. We didn't interview with him, but yeah, that was their first house. And HOA immediately. Gotta go, guys. And so we went to the field across the street, literally across the street, and they're like, nope, you gotta go. Then we went to Mentopolis Rec Center, and I've got something cool to say. Hopefully, if Ann is listening, Ann Wolf or Kirkland, James Kirkland is a good friend. I have Pops' stool, so if they're listening, contact me. They know what that means. We went to Mentopolis Rec Center and trained there for fucking 8 months, and then they closed down completely. And they demolished the whole place. And Ann Wolf and James Kirkland, that's where they started their entire career. And Pops was a very well-known coach in the community, and he was Ann Wolf's coach before, and Kirkland's, and then Ann trained, and then of course they went down their paths. And I've been trying to get this because I don't deserve it. This is the little red bar stool that James Kirkland and Wolf would sit on, and it's in my house. And I've been saving it for the day that, I've messaged both of them. I even told James, but, you get hit in the head a lot, it's sad, but it's just sitting there waiting for one of them to come pick it up. They closed down. Then we went to a field, man. We went to fucking Zilker Park for like 2 months. That was horrible. That was absolutely just sucked. Because of the weather, the time of year, but people kept showing up. And then we went to Andrew Gleason's in Georgetown, and he does board and train dogs. And I was going to run it out of his backyard with like all this dog shit everywhere. And I was like, and he was like, bro, just take my garage. And I'm like, you don't want to do that. Like, you sure? He's like, yeah, take my garage. And so I spent some money, and I turned his garage into a full-blown boxing studio. And then 5 months later, he's like, you got to go. He's like, this is too much, man.
Was it too many people? What was too much?
God, yeah. It looked like a trap house. Dude, dude, the HOA kicked me out.
Okay, so a bunch of HOAs have been kicking you out.
I got one more HOA story.
There is an in-depth YouTube video on our Black Sheep page. Yeah. So check that out for a little side into it.
But the next individual, Ryan Spencer, I talked to him today. Ryan Spencer he's probably, the thing is whenever Andrew said I had to go, I thought that was it. I built this brand. I was like, nah, I'm gonna figure this out. And he's like, well, I know this director. He's a director of a treatment facility. And I'm like, a fucking director, man. I'm not trying to, then I meet Ryan. He's like, he's just some recovering addict. And he was cool as hell, man. I'll never forget it. And we got along so well. And he just said, here's my garage. And then he found out how much money I was making.
This is another garage.
This is in Pflugerville.
Okay.
Heatherwild.
And then he found out how much money you were making?
Yeah. And he up my rent. $100 a week, bastard. But again, like I would have done the same thing. You know what I mean? I was a contractor for Infinite Recovery at the time, making really good money. I developed a boxing program for them. And then I'd come home and I'd train people one-on-one. And you could ask Sky, like, I just got out of prison not too long ago. And I was driving a 99 Honda Accord. And I had the bright idea to go buy a very expensive jet ski that was worth 10 more times than the car I was driving. All because of David Poku. I saw him on the yellow jet ski in the morning, and I'm fucking depressed for no fucking reason, bro. My life is great. I'm just like depressed. And I see David, he's got this big smile on his face. And I call him and I'm talking to him and I go in the safe and I look and I said, fuck it. I go to the Woods Fun Center, man. And I bought a jet ski. I didn't even have a car to tow it off the lot. I called my buddy Dan. He came and picked it up. And then I just drove it to Lake Travis. I didn't know what I was doing. They're like, yeah, it's going to be $1,000 for the year for a hydro slip. And I'm like, I think it's getting kind of pricey. And I got it on the water, and I will never forget. The first time I rode that, you will never see a depressed person on a jet ski. And
so now we have 2 jet skis.
And the thing is I got so much shit for why'd you buy a jet ski worth 10 more times in your car? And my answer every time was, have you ever seen a depressed person on a jet ski? Because I've seen a depressed person driving a 99 Honda Accord.
And then what else did you buy while you had the 99 Accord?
I don't remember.
3 times the price of your Accord. A boxing ring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was laundering money for sure. And I didn't know it. I didn't know what I was doing. And I
know we need a ring.
And I did it through, never mind. Anyway, no, because I had cash. Everybody paid me cash. You know what I mean? And like, I'm a young entrepreneur. I just got my LLC, but prior to that, I was training people in a garage for 2 years, saving up every dollar. Would never spend a dollar. I saved up quite a bit of money, and I didn't know what to do with it. I called him, and I'm like, "Hey, what do you do with this shit? You know, like how do you make it legit?" And anyway, so then I bought a boxing ring that was like 13, 14 grand. And Rob and Esther, they were kind enough to let me put the boxing ring in their gym, where I paid a coaching fee of $100 a week, $400 a month for 6 months. And it was cool though, because I was only there for 4 weeks and I got nominated as almost coach of the year. I came in second. And that's when I realized, like, I was always so scared to move from garage to garage. I always thought, that's it, nobody's going to follow me, or this is going to be the end of it. And I was like, I could do this, because I got so much kickback from being a boxing coach because I didn't have a pro career. And all positive stuff aside, and they can go fuck themselves. But anyway,
Right.
But it was motivating. It was motivating because, and I wanted to show people, like, you don't have to go down this stereotypical, like, I got my GED in prison. You can get your college degree in prison. You don't have to fucking follow the crowd. You can create your own path in life. You can. But we go back to that why. If that why isn't powerful, then the how, I can't tell you how to create your own path because you don't have a powerful why. I was relentless. And, things change.
How did you get from the garages to finally opening up Black Sheep?
I was at Big Tech's gym for about 6 months. And that's when I called him. And I was like, dude, I'm ready. I had no fucking idea what I was doing. I still don't. And I don't give a damn. Mm-hmm. All I do is I do my best to take care of people. I do my best to fucking pay attention to the way people are feeling. And if they're not enjoying working here, then how could I make their job better? Mm. And I stick to the basics. I don't need to sit there. The key to entrepreneurship. This is this simple, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna tell people because there's probably a lot of people out there that want to go down this road but don't know how. So, what are you passionate about, Sacred?
I'm passionate about creating things with video content, with using the skills that I've acquired through video to create travel videos, inspirational videos, talk about things that, talk about the struggles that people are having and just, letting people know that they're not alone in those struggles. I'm passionate about relating to people, passionate about doing this, having conversations like this. Especially even with this podcast, I haven't had a guest that's been through the type of stuff that you've been through. And I think it's really it's good to get that perspective. I've only seen part of your life. Sky's been there since you were 8. But you've gone through some shit.
You've been there probably longer than almost anybody in Austin, Texas, besides, I think, Scotty. I met Scotty a little before you, and David. You, Scotty, and David are the only people in my lives, besides him, that were way prior to all this.
But I think this conversation is necessary because you do have a comeback story, and when you're down, as you went as far down as you can possibly go, some people sit there. Mm-hmm. For you, at some point, the only way was up.
You know why? My enablers, they cut me off. It's clear cut.
Your enablers cut you off.
My enablers cut me off. Your back's against the wall. Nobody's going to pat you on the back and tell you it's going to be okay. Can't go home. Ain't no food going to be there. Live on the street. Do something with your life. Enablers are the reason why people die. And people don't want to talk about it. It's sad. Mom and dads are the reason most times why their son overdoses on heroin and dies. It's some people can't hear it. You continue, and you're not supporting somebody by cooking them dinner when you know they just got done shooting dope. You sit down, you talk to them, you set a fucking boundary. Go get help, or you're not dying in my house. But that's the thing is I would rather take that risk if I had a child than to sit there and pat them on the back until they died. Because this is a power of no choice, right? Now we're getting back into that.
You said enablers are the reason why people die when it comes to drug addiction. What about enablers in other aspects of life?
So not the reason. I mean, there's a bunch of key parts. Okay, I want to make that clear. But they play a very, very big reason. Because if you set a boundary with somebody and they cross that boundary and there's no accountability, then why stop? If I could burn the world down and go home and my mom's still going to pat me on the back and act like, here's some food, babe, love you, why am I going to stop? That why never becomes powerful. That's the thing when you're in, for me, I can only speak for me. When my enablers cut me off, I'm talking cut me off, that why became powerful. And I was willing to do, my mom was all I had. And that's why this death is this past April. You know, a lot of people, I can't stand when people say, suck it up, nobody's coming to save you. Or it's life. My mom was everything. And when she died, it fucked me up mentally, extremely bad. And because of the way I was handling it and owning a business, everybody just seemed to just want to be involved. And that's fine. But they made sure that they knew that I knew they were involved, you know, and then it just, the enablers, and it's like that piece when my mom's, that one person that I loved more than life itself quit enabling me and cut me off, I was willing to do whatever the fuck it took, whatever it took. And for me, and for countless other men and women that I've known, it saved their life. And I remember whenever my mentor told me, he said, I called him, I was like, you're sober. And he hung up on me, and I call him back, and I'm like, hey, sorry, man, we hung up. He goes, no, Jeff, congratulations for doing exactly what the fuck you should have been doing your whole life. And then he hung up on me. You know, it's like, our brains get so twisted in this shit, man. And then I tell him this all the time. Your mind's trying to kill you and make it look like an accident.
What do you mean by that?
Your mind is trying to kill you and make it look like an accident. You have people that enable you, but yet you want to quit, but yet you don't know how to quit. And it just, everything starts blurring together. And then you're depressed. Why am I depressed? Why can't I hold a job, but I have a good work ethic? Now you're character assassinating yourself. And then you get high, and then you're fucking on this spiritual mountaintop. And it's just this roller coaster of, they call it like a vicious cycle. But I added a little extra to it. So, but that's what it is. It's like you start blurring all these, and it's real simple. You simplify everything. Enablers cut you off, find a powerful why. How it becomes easy. Entrepreneurship is you find something you're passionate about, which for me, it was combat sports. I went and found a very successful gym that had a perfect business model. So I didn't need to create a business model. I went and found it. I learned how it ticked. I learned the systems. I learned the staff hours, learned everything. I pulled that business model. I attached my image, Black Sheep Boxing, my colors, our colors, and then I attach a purpose to it. Mm-hmm. That is entrepreneurship. That is how easy it is to create a company. But if you don't have a purpose, again, personal opinions, if you don't have a purpose attached to your passion, yeah, I just don't see it working.
You want to make it long term.
Well, because you're financially driven.
I agree with that 100%. I know you're saying it's just you, but I think it's true in most cases.
Yeah.
Even in my case, the reason I started doing video is because from a very young age, I knew I didn't want to work for someone.
Fuck that.
And I would always ask myself the question, if time or money were no object, what would I spend my time doing? What am I passionate about? What would I do for free? And even as a kid, I thought, you know what? I would love to shoot video for a living, but I don't think it could pay enough. I want to make more money. So I always put on the back burner, but eventually I circled back. Time or money weren't an option. What do I spend my time doing? And it was video. And you met me when I had the party bus company.
You damn right I did.
That wasn't my passion.
I embarrassed the shit out of myself.
That wasn't my passion.
Yeah.
So after doing that for 7 years, I switched to video and everything in my life changed because I was passionate about that.
You were an entrepreneur at a young age.
Yeah.
Vincent, right?
Yeah, Vinny.
Vinny.
Yeah, it is Vincent, but yeah, Vinny.
Oh, no shit.
It is Vincent.
But I remember that, and it's entrepreneurs just have a different mindset.
And we also have the ability to delay gratification.
I don't. I'm learning. I'm struggling with that. Like, wait, hold on. Let me make sure. Delay gratification.
It's like have you heard of the marshmallow test?
I have not.
So there was that basically, I don't even remember who did it, but they put a kid in a room and they came up.
Sorry, my bad. They put a kid in a room. Like, fuck.
So they did this test on a bunch of kids. So put them in a room and they bring them a marshmallow. They put it on the desk and they said, "Hey, if you don't touch this marshmallow, I got to go take a call real quick. When I come back, I'll give you another marshmallow." 80% of the kids, by the time that person came back, ate the marshmallow. The 20% that were able to hold off from eating the marshmallow, so knowing that they're going to get a second one, those kids end up being entrepreneurs, making better grades in school.
I see.
Having better relationships. Entrepreneurs have the ability to delay gratification. Whether you see it in yourself or not, you have that ability because Black Sheep Boxing didn't happen in a night.
No, it didn't.
It happened in a couple of years.
4 garages and 9 heart attacks. And
whether you did it on purpose or not, it found you.
I just cared.
The purpose.
Yeah.
Purpose driven.
And it's really interesting you say that because delayed gratification and instant validation. That's what I struggle with. I have no fucking problem admitting where I fall short in life. None. Validation changes the way I feel. And it's been a constant battle ever since I was a kid. I remember playing Zelda, an RPG game, for the first time ever. I got Link tattooed on the leg. And it changed the way I feel. It fixed Jeff. And then it transitioned into other things. Codependency, fighting, alcoholism. And what combat sports did for me, I wanted the world to be able to experience that. Because if we could help one fucking person, just one, then all this was worth it. And not coming from a place of boasting or egoism or egotism, we have helped fucking hundreds. And I say that with confidence because I know who they are. Sky knows who they are. And we don't seek validation for it. sometimes it naturally comes up and oh, Jeff, you're doing amazing. And then you ask him, the first thing I say, I am not doing it. My coaches are. I always redirect them. Always. And I make sure of it. And because it takes a collaboration, a team of people that care in order to make such a ripple effect to where it could literally change fucking the lower 48. And then think about it. Change the world. Yeah, I mean, it's fucking crazy far, especially this day and age. But it is possible. I truly think it is.
I mean, the way to change the world is one person at a time.
It's fucking crazy.
One person at a time. I'm going to read a Muhammad Ali quote.
Can I say it? Let me guess.
Go ahead.
Service to others is the rent that you pay for your room here on earth.
That's on your website. Why is it there?
It reminds me in Sky every day why we do this. And I'm telling you, without him reminding me, Jeff, we're here for service. We're here for service. It just fucking makes sense, man.
And it's a reminder that it's never done every day. Clean slate, and it's a burden, but at the same time, I mean, that's what fuels at the same time. It just keeps the gears turning. It fuels you to keep going. Right when you're at the end and you're just like, I mean, I've been teaching for 20 plus years, and right when every time it seems like it's to that point where I'm just like, I got nothing left. Teaching martial arts from Taekwondo to, kickboxing. Those are my specialties, and really diving in as a jiu-jitsu practitioner, and judo, Krav Maga. That went down the rabbit hole of the Eskrima Kali, the Filipino martial arts, the stick and knife fighting, and just anything and everything. I'm so ADD that I have to keep it interesting and keep changing it up to keep my interest, because once I maxed out on Taekwondo and I was like, okay, I feel like I'm training for these world level championships, and it just got to where it was like, okay, and they get a little burnt out. And that's when jiu-jitsu was presented to me. That was about 11, 12 years ago. And jiu-jitsu played a big role in giving me that spark, that reignition, that fire to continue training martial arts, and reminding me that I'm going to do this forever. Because when I started fighting as a Taekwondo martial artist, I was like, when we got the gear and started fighting, I was like, oh, this is it. Because I used to get in trouble in school for fighting. And it wasn't anything personal. I don't ever try and seek that shit, but it was more of a fun, type of, this is what we do, right? Training my whole life in martial arts, fast forward to here and now, Black Sheep, Unity in Houston. The purpose remains the same for the reasons that I stuck with it over the years. For the reasons that I feel like I need to contribute back, or, the instructors that it instilled into me, and saved my life. I didn't know martial arts was going to help me in the way it did. I thought it was going to be beating bad guys. And my first impression was WWE. Well, it was WCW and WWF back in the day. And it was the rest. I was like, oh shit, that's the coolest thing ever. And that was what grabbed my attention. And then when I started getting involved, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fight bad guys. And as a kid, thinking this and that, but you don't realize what it's actually going to help you with, the mental, side of it, the spiritual, the physical, and it all is intercepting and intertwined too at the same time. So fast forward to where we're at now, I just can't help but feel that urge, that desire to share that to others. And to any way I can through the filming. And that's where it's been really cool, because my biological father is where I get all the extreme sports, the filming, the production, the photography. He really embedded that in me. That was him. That was my blood dad. A lot of people don't know, but it was my stepdad that actually introduced me to martial arts when I was 9. And then now looking forward in life, 20 something years later, I'm 35 now. So do the math. They've grown and intersected. That's where MFC was a really big opportunity to really put that on display on a full level of the lighting, the camera crews, the photo, everything. And it was a beautiful thing, just to see that and to see it all intersect. And I've really been driven to this point in my life where, not that this is podcast about me or anything, but I feel like it's a big part of Black Sheep and where it's come. But it has, full circle been an opportunity. And I mean, Jeff has been one of my biggest fans as far as my film work. Cause firsthand, being a content creator and being an entrepreneur, you're your own worst enemy. I mean, you're like, we just get we're perfectionists and it's got to be perfect. It can't be anything wrong. And sometimes a lot of stuff never ends up releasing because of that mentality. And you just almost have to be like, you know what? And Jeff has stepped in. No, dude, that looks great. Like, put that out there. The people need to see it. And I'm like, no, I still need something. It's missed something. Boom, we put it out and it's like, it gets just the best response, So I definitely, I'm grateful for that.
You always need someone like that in your life.
I tell people, you're hiring him. Right? I'm like, you're hiring him.
I mean, I wouldn't have got the opportunity to film for Marshmallow, F1, Chainsmokers, these big gigs that we got without, Jeff being like, no, this is the guy.
Fight flicks, we can keep going.
Yeah, fight. And it all started with rollerblading back in the day, running the streets. And I had the camera in hand, and it's just what it was.
Are you saying Jeff is the guy who pushed you to release things that you were just going to keep on the shelf?
Yes, a lot of that, and just things that weren't going to get finished because it was like, no, it needs some more work. It needs more polishing. And it would have never ended, because in my mind, I'm like, no, it needs this, it needs that. And having a second pair of eyes and
James, Lou. I mean, it's like, we make such a great team. It's fucking, like, I'd marry him if I was a woman.
I know of so many talented video content creators that they make videos for other people, but they also make their own passion projects or just people in general with talents.
Yeah.
And because of that perfectionist mindset, no one knows how talented they are. They're so afraid to expose themselves to the world. Mm-hmm. The reason why I've been able to build my platforms the way I have is I said, fuck that. I don't care if nothing. You're going to be your worst critic at all times. Once I realized that and just started putting out shit to the world, everything exploded. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I'm able to put out, I don't know, I've put out like thousands of videos, man. So, but everyone needs someone like Jeff in their life to be like, hey, no, you are good at this shit. Put it out, put it out, put it out. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you don't hire him, I'm never talking to you again. I've said it before.
Muscle, come in.
It's not even muscle. It's just it's the thing is it's really cool that you said that, because one of my mentors told me, I used to doing my own social media marketing in the beginning stages. You're gonna make another post tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's bro, like, shut the fuck. I can't talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, bro, you've already been talking about that. You can't ask now. You can't ask,
it's like,
if I haven't already said something.
And like, you're gonna make another post tomorrow, right? So you might not get the feedback that you want, but it's never ending. So if you obsess about this one now, like in 2 weeks, you're gonna fucking not even remember. Let it go. Post it. And like, that's when people are like, you got to post it this time, it's this time, it's this time. There is a little bit of science behind it, but fuck that. You got something you got on your heart. You got something that could inspire somebody. I'm not going to wait 48 hours. Somebody might need to see that shit right now.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll make another fucking post tomorrow. And that's what I personally think, like, what y'all do, fuck that. I can't do it. But it's mentally. It's if you don't know how. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
if you don't know how to control or direct your fucks accordingly.
Direct your fucks accordingly.
Yes, if you don't know how to direct your fucks accordingly, it will consume you and you're tapped out mentally.
Wait, go ahead. Explain what you mean by direct your fucks accordingly.
What do you
if you don't know how to?
What do you give a fuck about? I need to direct what I give a fuck about. Right now, I give a fuck about 4 things. I give a fuck about making a living amends to my mother and being a good man and changing habits. I give a fuck about being a good boss and improving. I give a fuck about this one person that's in my life. I give a fuck about my dog and my relationships. That's it. Everybody else could fuck off the most kindly. No, I'm not saying. Sorry. No, the thing is everybody else could have their own journey, and I just don't. It's none of my business what they think about me, and I'm just gonna keep working hard, no matter what. I'm not gonna character assassinate them. I'm not gonna go down no road because there's work to be done. And there's people to help, and call it what you want, but you know.
Do you ever take time to reflect on how far you've come?
No. Guilt.
That comes to my mind just right then and there is that, you know, a lot of people think, wow, but they just, I mean, we hear it every day. Oh, y'all are done this and that and da. And all I can think is like, I'm not doing enough, you know, and I know that's the same conversation. And that's why it's like, it's kind of dangerous getting us together sometimes because like, we need to catch up. And then it's like, so I go, no. Or like my wife.
Your wife. I was going to say like, no.
We go in the clouds and we're like, no, we got to do this. I mean, we bought a car randomly because, and we forgot to tell her because she runs all the books and everything. And yeah, we bought a car. So please tell us. Let's go back and do the story. Tell the story. Right. So.
Well, yeah, I'm at James's shop. My buddy, James Barbie Mufflers. Check him out, West Branch. And I'm just like, let's buy a car. Fuck it. Let's buy it for the community. And our brains just started flowing. They're like, bro, if we buy a car for our coaches in the community, no matter who you are, if you're a member, you get a 2017 Kia.
We do the first thing my wife sees on Instagram. She doesn't get on very often. And she's like, what in the world? We're like the car salesman up there. Like, guys, we got a car for the community. And the reason we did, because there were a lot of our coaches were dealing with different mechanical issues and this and that and that. And we're like, there's a need there.
We had Warren, Cade, and a couple other people that were struggling really bad with cars. And we're like, well, let's get a car so they could use. And then there's also perks, like, you know, build our credit. You know what I mean? Like, and that shit backfired like a motherfucker, bro. Holy shit. But
I need to borrow that car.
Yeah. Actually. But it backfired for a short period of time. And that car has helped a lot of fucking people, man. A lot. I got somebody now driving from Gerald and back every day, and it's provided him a way to work and get back on his feet. And the cool thing is the first time I drove it, I parked it at HEB. I can't find it. It blends in with every other fucking vehicle. It's a 17 Kia. So I called James, and James goes, I've got these ridiculous 17-inch red rims. I'm like, we'll take them.
Yeah, let's throw them on there so we can know where the hell our car is.
And now, like, bro, you could see it 100 miles away.
I've gotten so many compliments too. It's so funny. I was like, dude, those rims. I'm like, are you making fun of me right now? Or like, are you serious?
But it's really cool, man. But yeah, you get us together and we'll end up in Mexico or we'll buy a car for the community.
I love that. Whenever I ask the question, do you ever take time to reflect on how far you've come? You said no.
No.
Why?
Guilt, shame. Feel like I don't deserve it a lot. So I just ignore it. That's as clear cut as I can get.
To this day?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that is...
Well, because I'm not in recovery anymore. That's the big elephant in the fucking room.
Say it again.
I'm not in recovery anymore. And the thing is I found something that works for me. And I built a life on an image. And that does not mean I don't live by spiritual principles. That does not mean that I am a bad person. That does not mean that I'm this monster. And I care about what people think about me. I try my hardest not to, but I fucking care. And when you hear the things people say about you, and you just have to shut the fuck up because of the position you're in, I could be petty. I could do this, I could do that. That's why it's hard for me to reflect. Because even though you know their lies, you start to think, is it true? And again, my mind's trying to kill me and make it look like an accident. Mental fucking health.
When you said you're not in recovery anymore, what do you mean by that?
I'm not like sober.
Okay.
Like I've found something that works for me. When was the last time you saw me drunk?
Mexico.
Mexico.
What?
No, yeah. That was like my first. I was like 5 years sober.
Colorado.
And then, but the thing is, I'm talking like drunk, like how I used to be.
What did
I haven't. No.
what did you find that works for you?
You want honestly?
Yeah.
I microdosed mushrooms 2 days on, 1 days off for 90 days, and I did 2 cycles. And I did it monitored, Aztec mushrooms specifically, because I didn't want to live in fear anymore. I used to live in this fear that, oh my God, if I drive down, bro, that's no way to live.
You were fearful of relapsing or drinking in general?
If I take one sip, my life is gone. If I take one sip, I'm losing everything. If I take one sip, I'm going to die. I do have 3 DWIs. You know, I did get in a lot of fights that were alcohol induced. Absolutely. I had a Jeff problem, and the alcohol was my solution. I did a lot of work on myself, a lot. And the thing is this isn't for anybody else to understand. It's not. It's not about them. This is about me and my life. And the thing is what works for me, Sacred, it might not work for you. And you have to understand something. I don't recommend trying this if you're a fucking heroin addict. I don't recommend, you can do whatever you want, man, but you need to get with somebody that's going to guide and direct you. This is not self-medicate. Your motives have to be in the right direction going into it. If your motives are saying, I'm taking this to change the way I feel, that's a red flag. Now, if I'm waking up, taking it like a vitamin, you go train, it works for some people and it works and some people it doesn't work for. And for example, like ayahuasca, won't try it. I had some good friends. My buddy Philip Forbes, man, he is such an amazing fucking person. He was like, yeah, we're gonna send you here and there and do ayahuasca. And I'm like, no, too many demons. It scares the piss out of me, bro. It really does. And what it does is you have these highways in your brain when you're born, and they target certain parts of the brain. They don't move. They're cemented highways. By microdosing Aztec mushrooms, specifically for me, these aren't psychic, you don't hallucinate. You slowly start rerouting these fucking pathways. And you start hitting parts of the brain that you've never accessed before. And by doing that, now with therapy, now with accountability, now with a positive, healthy lifestyle, you know this, bro. Diet and exercise and just basic fucking like self-affirmations could cure like 80% of the shit that's wrong with you, bro.
100%.
And nobody wants to talk about it. It works for me. I go out. I have a fucking drink and I go home. 9-10 years ago, bro.
You're not going home until you black out?
No, I'm not going home, period. I mean, you know, but that's the thing, and that's what I love about this, but it's not my place. I get people to come up to me all the time that struggle with drug addiction, and I am there for them, and I direct them to a man that could take them through the steps. I do not give away something I don't have, but I work with men with mental health because I understand that. And the outside world, they don't know that, and they don't need to. And they're entitled to their own opinions.
You said you understand mental health. What's mental health mean to you?
It's situational. It's situational, man. Just like combat sports. You can't compare anybody's mental health to another person's mental health. Their reality is not your reality. The way their anxiety, they could be confusing anxiety with excitement. You just never fucking know. The only way that I could even start to answer that question, Sacred, is I have a conversation with that person. My mental health is isolation. And it's borderline self-pity. But the self-pity it's not showcased to the world. I don't fucking hang out with anybody except for Sky and maybe a couple other people. I don't talk to anybody unless it's business. When there becomes a financial arrangement between you and some of your best friends or just good friends, over time, no matter what, somebody's perception is going to change.
Yeah.
And they're going to start distancing themselves. And if you're sensitive like me, I want to fix it. I'm a fixer, you know? It's like, why? Like, and then I tried too hard. And now they capitalize on that or what, and it's a snowball effect. Yeah. And then you just find yourself sitting at home. Materialistic shit don't mean nothing, bro. You know? But I have a core group of people that love and care about me that will fucking go to the end of the world for me. And I finally realized that's all that matters. You know? And to me, that's mental health because it's fucking lonely. I'm not at the top. But when mom dies and you got somebody that's calling you and asking you how you're doing, and then 5 minutes later going into a group chat and saying something so foul about her, you just can't fathom it. And that's mental health to me. And now I have to pull myself out. Not Sky. He helps. Other people help. But it's my job. And then now I'm at a spiritual warfare all over again. But I'm not drowning myself in a bottle of Jack. You know what I mean? I'm not fucking doing a bunch. I mean, I love my life. But the one thing I wish I could change is the way I shouldn't have took my mom's advice. And that's the only time I'll ever say that.
In what way shouldn't you have taken your mom's advice?
Because my mom was a director of med-surg at North Austin Medical Center. She won this award called the Studer's Award. It was issued out of 500,000 people. She got flown to Chicago. She gave a speech on the news. She was the #1 director in the country. And I got a lot of my attributes from her. And she would have that approach where she'd go up to people, you know, I told you in the hospital or whatnot, and say, how do you like working here? They say 2, 3. Okay, well, how can I make it a 10? She would always think about other people. She didn't date, nothing. She dedicated her life to service. And I took that approach into the combat sport industry. Bad fucking idea.
Why?
Because people take advantage of you. There's ego. And I will tell you this, I might get some kickback from this, but this is the way I feel. MMA and boxing is a sport. It's not a mixed martial arts. It's not. Jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, Taekwondo, you grew up on the mats. There's level of respect. You bow. There's this traditions. MMA and boxing, it's who's going to kill who first. And I took that approach with them. Hey, what can I get you? I pay for all my coaches' equipment. Get them a car. I wanted to give them the best platform possible to be successful. And it backfired.
How did they take advantage?
You want to do this? Let's dance.
At the end of the day, this whole podcast,
I know.
You've been hinting at this.
Fuck it.
People want to know.
How did they take advantage of you?
Well, it's mainly us, how they took advantage of the facility and the owners.
And who's they?
I'm not going to say names.
It's just people that worked for you?
A couple of them did. I'm not going to say any names out of respect for the gym that they train at. You can't steal. And the thing is, you know, one good thing is like these are factual statements. I know for a fact, one of them I thought was one of my closest friends. I talked to him every day. Every day. He knew everything about it. I told him when I was struggling. We talked. And when you're in a place of leadership and you're directing people, you can't steal. So I'm just going to dive into it, you know, and these are facts, you know. So we had to let one of our front desk staff go. And we let him use the work phone. And it was interesting. That day, I paid out of my own pocket to fix his personal phone, his screen. So he was using the work phone. And he got fired. He just wasn't a great dude. Wasn't really just a good fit. So Allison went to go pick up the company phone. And she's in Canyon Lake, I believe, at the time. And she's bing, 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 bing. His phone's going crazy. She ends up coming home, and she comes home. She's got tears in her eyes. She looks at me. She goes, Jeff, I don't know if you want to read this. At this point, I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? I have to now. That was probably the most gut-wrenching. It hurt. It really fucking did. And it hurt in a way like in the penitentiary, you have so many different types of patients, right? Their motto is hurry up and wait. Yeah. This type of hurt was something I've never felt before, especially whenever these certain individuals will, I guess, just gas you up and just act like a different person in front of your face, but they're sincere.
What is it that she didn't want you to read?
What they were saying about me and what they're saying about my mother that just died. And the fact that they were stealing out of the pro shop. They were making fun of my other coaches. Not my other coaches, sorry. They were making fun of other coaches. They were making, I wouldn't say racial, but very fucking close. No, it was racial.
Yeah, about to say it's probably racial.
They were one of my pad holders making jokes about flamboyancy. Yay. And I would never forget pulling pictures and videos. And this is all personal. This isn't why they got terminated. And all these are facts. We have printouts. And I've never aired anything out, man. And for a reason, because still to this day, these individuals, they are still fabricating lies. I still haven't came out and said, no, this isn't it. I had the respect to call the gym owner. I'm not going to say his name or the gym they train at. And I told him, I'm going on a podcast soon, man. And I just want to give you the respect. And I want to inform you. And I didn't even tell him what they did. Because it's not my job to play God. And I truly try to do this the right way. So you poke, you poke, you poke, and you poke. Your back's against the wall. And 2 of them showed up at my house at 3 a.m. drunk. And I wasn't there. Why? For one, they're very fortunate. Very fortunate. And I made amends to a couple of them. And I truly believe some of them, not all of them, some of them have really good hearts, but they become a product of their environment. Again, you lay down with the dogs, you get up with fleas. You hang out with people that not just lack integrity, but that just have no remorse for anybody that's just thriving to be better. It's none, just no respect. But yet you still ask for things. You want a raise? Or you're asking for a raise, but yet you just literally character assassinated this individual. You drove the car to the ground, leaving fucking burgers under it. We bought you a car so you could drive to Colorado to go train. We pay for your gas. We bring you sponsors. And most of all, there's no house fees at our gym, sorry. No house fees. You know what that means? You charge a client $60, you take home $60. Half of that team had discounts and didn't even pay. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. I honestly couldn't. Personal vendetta against me, personal resentment. Maybe it's because of me. Braxton is a very good friend of mine. We went to the UFC. Nobody thought I deserved it. Why? If you tell the viewers who Braxton is. Braxton is an individual that came up by himself. Mom died a while back, and he took a 5-year hiatus. He came back and he's knocked out 5 out of 6 people in the first round. Brutal fucking knockouts. He made it to the UFC. He called me last minute. He said, Jeff, will you please come oversee this camp? Because the coaches at the time, again, not to say names, they weren't a good fit. Their approach, they weren't a good fit. So by the time we got back, me and Braxton, we bumped heads multiple fucking times. We've on the spot. That's my brother. You know what I mean? He was at the gym last night, and he got his family. And that just was the icing on the cake for them. Because, you know what? They're the reason why they never reach their full potential. Not me. And the thing is when you get together with a bunch of people hurt people. And what hurt me the most was I don't really have it. I don't have that. I don't have any friends. I have acquaintances. And I'm okay with that though. Centered. Like I am okay with fucking being alone. Do I struggle in areas? Absolutely. But you get asked Sky, I cannot piss in the morning without the world knowing I'm dehydrated. Can't do it. I have an individual that said, for another example, works with the kids. Say he got arrested for child support. No, they was assault by injury, family violence by strangulation. Still to this day, nobody knows. I have checked. That's the thing is, as an owner, I went about things the right way. Let them run their mouths. Let them do what they have to do. But the thing is I know some of them are good people.
Wait, you said that someone, you didn't really finish that sentence. So someone that was working for you, did they tell you that they got arrested for?
No, I read his name, looked up his charges.
Okay, and then so he told you one thing, and basically you found out he was lying.
He also manipulated sponsors, and he also started sleeping with one of the sponsors that I got him was his girlfriend, and but everything's my fault. Direct attention on the bad guy, because nobody can take accountability for themselves. I'll tell you where I fall short. Grant to me. I feel better you holding me accountable than you giving me an affirmation. I'm crawling in my skin when you tell me I'm doing a good job. And it just spread like wildfire. So we canceled and banned the entire team. And that led into something else catastrophic that we're not going to get into. That's a whole nother Melee Fighting Championship. And in due time, but at the end of the day, man, like, again, I'm going to say this. I believe some have really good arts. I've made amends to two of them. And the thing is even if they came to me to this day and said, Jeff, I need a place to train, I will say yes. And that's why I'm different. That's what separates us. And that's why I'm in the position I'm in life. And that's why they're in the position they're in life. And to me, it's that fucking black and white. Mm-hmm. Now I'll take that to my fucking grave. You have to take your lip. You have to. I've done it a million times. I did stuff that I regret. I did a lot of stuff I regret growing up, but I will not fucking deny it.
And I can attest to that because we have been in a recent situation where coaches have been poached from our gym, that we have really built just the utmost platform and opportunity for them to grow and spread their wings and fly and all that good stuff. And there's been a lot of, emotions that have flown, but still, even past all of that, still the same things come out of your mouth, my mouth, and we check each other. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I get emotional and I'm just like, I just don't understand, because you just don't understand. It's almost like a death in a family, when somebody that you feel like so close to, like, one of our, coaches that we've invested in, we felt like we had this bond, and then it's almost like a death, because death is something it's hard to really wrap our head around and perceive. Because just from my own beliefs, I feel like God created us to live forever, and then shit happened. And so, we can't really comprehend death. You try to think about it. You try to think about death or eternity, and you just can't really comprehend. So it's kind of weird that ties in with it. But when somebody does that, and at the end of the day, we go back to the same thing. We will absolutely allow Jeff was like, with all that said, if they were to ask if they needed a place and they were, out in the cold and needed a place to train somebody, absolutely. We're not going to say no. Like, at the end of the day, we're never going to say no.
I want to say no, but I know it's not in me, because I know my mom would want me to not be the bigger person, because I don't want to say I'm better than them, because I've made mistakes. Not similar. I've never said some of those things, but I have made mistakes that have been catastrophic. And that's why, when people say, well, I'm going to pray for you, you're subconsciously putting yourself above somebody. But a lot of people don't understand that. So the thing is if you can't man up and just own your mistakes, or better yet, quit spreading rumors. Own it. I fucked up. Move on. Make amends. And then get some freedom. Or keep running your fucking mouth. And then I'll let God do what God does. And on me.
I know you said you have a mindset that if some of these people needed a place to train, you wouldn't be able to help but say yes. Would that not be enabling them?
Well, it depends. Probably not. 'Cause community would probably kick them out. To be honest with you. And I'd probably, that's form of manipulation. But no, I don't know. It's situational. It depends on their approach. It depends on what they want. It depends on where their head's at. Like, that's the thing is some of these questions and with combat sports is like, unless you know who you're fighting, you can't have a game plan. Everything is situational. And that's what makes a good coach. Understanding what makes your fighter tick, understanding situations, understanding what's uncomfortable for your fighter, and understanding where he is comfortable. He's going to be comfortable if he's fighting somewhere that's twice his fucking height. He's going to be discomfort where he used to be comfortable. And you have to understand that. I can't answer that. But self can't see self. So that I do know I enable people all the fucking time. And I don't catch it in real time, but I don't do it much anymore. I do a daily reprieve at night. You can ask me every morning, and when the kids are, everybody's got to stop. I meditate, and I make the kids meditate with me. Everybody in the house has to be quiet. If not, you're joining me on the couch. Same thing at night. I sit and I comb through my day, and I ask myself, do I owe an apology? Where have I lied? Have I manipulated? And sometimes like, oh shit. I should probably reach out to that person. I'm a human being and I want to be better. That's it. That's me though. And the thing is in the nicest way, fuck them. But I will be there for them if they have the right approach. I can't have an approach with them. You know what I mean? Like, I can't approach them because if you ask them, what did Jeff do to you? I think I heard one thing, seeing my youth saying something about, well, you said that we weren't going to pay a house fee. Nobody's ever paid a house fee. Nobody. We made sure that we opened up a gym to give coaches the platform for it to be their number one source of income. And I know 3 coaches that came to me and I told them, this is what we're going to do. One stopped moving for the moving company. The other one stopped working for the mental hospital. And the other one was already pretty well established. And within 6 months, every single one of my coaches is their primary source of income is coaching. We pay our coaches well. We take care of our coaches. And I think that some of them are pissed off because they got passed up by somebody that doesn't have a pro fight career.
Go deeper into that. What do you mean?
I come from a garage. I've never even had the amateur fight.
Oh, so you're saying they're jealous of you?
I don't know if jealous is the right word. I think just resentment. I don't think they're jealous because I know the individuals. I don't think they're jealous. Jealousy is more of a childish term to me, and they're not childish. I may be a little petty, but we all are at times. You know what I mean? But no, I think that there's something internally that they are just fucking pissed off, and they feel like they're building somebody else's dream. But guess what? I put in fucking work. I put in the work for fucking years. I put in more work than most of them combined. The hours I would put in 1 week, they would put in 3 weeks. That's why Max is such a good fucking coach. Because he's 20-something years old. He's in the gym every day, 8 hours a day. He's retaining more information than somebody that coaches 3 times a week. Do the math. I had time to study in prison. I had more, I put in more hours. So therefore, I reached my goals faster. But they don't know that. They just see some guy that's chasing clout and that's doing this and doing that. All I'm saying, he doesn't ever be in the UFC and this and that and this and that. Sorry, fuck you. Fuck off. But I will always be there for them if they need something. And I'm always willing to make amends. I was at fault a couple of times. I could have been better in plenty of situations. I could have, bro, after I lost mom, like, there's been times I should have showed up to the gym. I wasn't mentally right. You know what I mean? It affected them. I'm not perfect, but I'm willing to have that conversation. You know what I mean? Okay. Don't know. So that kind of pretty much clears the air. And I do want to say this. There's a lot of rumors out there going around, for not just about the gym, but about me or whatnot. Y'all know my number. Throw a pair of balls. Call me. Or better yet, text me. Let's go get some fucking food. Let's go sit down. Go shoot the shit. Me and one of the individuals that I ran into his work the other day, we're slowly rebuilding our friendship. I thought we were good friends. But you see the shit they say in those messages, it's morbid. So literally, like, you know what morbid means, right?
Death.
It's morbid. For example, he's built like a Lego and needs to go fuck his dead mother.
Wow.
Yeah. Just very remote. Thing is they might see it, but fuck you. That's how I felt. But who wouldn't? You know what I mean? Who wouldn't? I know your mom, and she's a light in a dark tunnel. My mom saved my life, his mom. But I just can't fathom. But joking or not, telling people to go steal, laughing about who's stealing what, talking about, literally, I said, Jeff's a bitch. Well, I called you twice, buddy. You didn't answer. Like, I live a new way for a reason, sacred, and I know we're supposed to be spreading positivity, and I really think that this is, because if I could overcome, I haven't done it completely, but if I could overcome being molested as a child, resent my father, and I'm using the same tactics as I did. That's how serious this is for me. It's called a sick man's prayer. And it said, dog, my father, George Platt, was a sick man. Please help me show him the same patience, pity, and tolerance that I would cheerfully show a sick friend with cancer. It's out of the big books of Alcoholics Anonymous. And so whenever I replace that resentment with love and compassion, that is where you start to get the freedom. It's a practice, because I view my father as a sick person. He never has the opportunity to get help. I don't know what he went through as a kid. So slowly, my perception started to shift. Somebody cuts you off on the side of the road. But his son might have just fucking overdosed on heroin. He was rushing to the hospital to say goodbye. Just like that. Perception shifted. I'm not pissed off anymore. It's the only way I know how to move to this. So I don't know what's going on in their lives for them to say shit like that. I don't know what's going on in their lives for them to really take advantage of Sky, myself, Allison, the gym. We don't get it. They don't get it. It's not for them to get. But I hope them the best. There's some there are a couple real talented guys, you know, and I mean, that's really all I got, you know, and you got something, just call me. Just fucking call me. You got something to say, call me. Let's work it out. Let's go get lunch. So,
And yeah, through all the week weak points, there comes strength out of it. You know, I believe truly when we get to our weakest points, then it can happen that quick, you know, and get to the strong point, you know. And we've now brought in Shane.
Yeah, let's talk about Shane.
I mean, we're like really evolving into this new evolution of Black Sheep and just this new chapter. And it's a really beautiful.
So you're basically saying after losing these people, you've rebounded with even better quality talent, or
Yeah, and I want to say something. It's fucking so beautiful. And not because they're gone. It's because the energy is so different. Curtis with 10th Planet, Andrew Craig. People say, oh, you dip riding and all that shit. I don't give a fuck what you call it. Those are good fucking people, man. Solid people. And I'm telling you, man, we got some really cool stuff in the works. Mm. And my mom always said there's a pony in every pile of shit. There's a beautiful pony because Shane, hopefully we got another guy we're talking to, man. There's just Eric Nixick at Extreme Couture, right?
Sean Strickland's fighting any minute now, actually, on UFC.
It's extremely rare. And I want these guys listen, hear me whenever I say this. It's extremely rare because I play a part in this. It trickles down from your fucking leader. Eric Nixick leads. He doesn't just lead, he guides, he directs, he installs integrity. There's accountability. There's compassion. There's love. There's assertiveness. And there's a healthy balance of it all, right? There was nothing. You got the head coach telling somebody to go steal. There's a reason why people are in the position they're at in life. And there's a reason why people are still in the same fucking spot. But Andrew Craig has done one of the most fucking coolest things that I've got to witness in MMA in Texas. He's built a team. They're knocking people out left and right. And, you know, like the people that Luis Severese called me this morning, not boasting, but I'm doing something right. And I let these people make me think that I was doing something very wrong, you know, and I'm glad he's trying to kill him, make it look like an accident. You know, else. So I hope the best for everybody. I really do.
What's next for Black Sheep Boxing?
Amazing. We just launched a new company. Me and Ricky, from my general manager, it's called Bat City Prints and Designs. It's all screen printing, embroidery, direct to garment. We do everything in house now. Everything, banners. We just we're fixing to launch Black Sheep Strength and Conditioning. We just did all black turf, road fitness, red and black equipment. Fucking beautiful. It's nice. We got saunas coming in. We have coaches lounge. You know, really just trying to invest in them, give them a space, and we're expanding. Yeah,
Another gym.
Yeah, and I don't know because I was talking to his ass earlier. And he called me right when we started, so I'm just gonna act right. Hopefully, he doesn't get too pissed off. So, my buddy Todd, there's some really cool things in works to bring MMA back to Texas. Sanctioned. So I didn't say a last name. So if he gets pissed off, I'm like, look, bro, I'm gonna talk about it. But literally, we were supposed to talk about it, but he called me right when we started. But no, it's just like there's just like the minute one door closes, one door opens. That cliche, man. I swear, I promise you, brother, that door closed and 10 opened. And somebody called me the other day and said, "So, what are you gonna do now that everybody's leaving?" I said, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Yeah, will you sell the gym?" No, man, we won't. Have a good day.
And man, if I could count the amount of people that have tried to buy the gym out from underneath us, money is no object.
You've been offered a crazy amount, stupid amount. No, it's not that. I mean, the whole purpose of the gym is to look. I gotta repeat myself. Either you believe it or you don't. Don't give a fuck. But we'll always be here for it, even if you don't give a fuck. Fight for Your Life program. We'll end with that too. If anybody's struggling with mental health or substance abuse, reach out to us. Our place is not a place where you could stay, but we have the resources to guide, direct you, get you help, get you into treatment, get you into detox. If you're in sober living, I mean, we scholarship 4 people a month. We do big discounts for first responders. We back the blue. Anybody out there on the front lines, EMTs. Honestly, if you're just fucking struggling, we've never said no to anybody. Not one fucking person. I mean, I can't tell you how many times his wife has yelled at me. Giving shit away. Or this, but that's why we opened the gym.
Yeah, I can tell you guys are passionate and, you know, you lead with service.
Back to the, if not on the.
You end up.
You end up.
You end up.
With that. No, I don't want to go back. I don't want to be incarcerated.
Yeah.
And service work, it's the only thing that gets me out of myself.
Yeah.
If I'm in self-pity, I'm in this fucking pissed off attitude, I have to go be of service. And I'm grateful for Stephen Long for installing that shit in me. Because no matter what, it's not about me. I'm over here bitching and crying about this and that. And this motherfucker's over here, I ain't got no food, man. You know what I mean? And not the audacity. It's just like, again, Maya's trying to make it look like an accident. He's saying it's a consistent redirection. You have to redirect yourself back into God's will, whatever you want to call it, over again, because we are human beings. Yeah. Absolutely.
I do want to say something cool that's coming up with Black Sheep in the near future is Rumble for Rogan.
Yes.
You know, one of our members, he's gone through
7 years old,
the ultimate battle right now. And yeah, man, it puts things in a little perspective as far as let's forget about all this bullshit that we got going on. And this kid, I mean, he's struggling with brain cancer and he's keeping a good attitude. He loves martial arts. He loves karate, MMA, boxing. So we're going to put an event on February 17th and just give him that superstar, you know, feel. It's all for him and all for his family. And the most selfish thing you can do is, the most selfish thing you do is be selfless and do something because
proceeds go to everything.
Yeah. So we're just ultimately, and I just earlier got a few people registering for the event. And regardless of all the drama and bullshit, I hope people can oversee that and just say, let's come together for a bigger purpose. Mm-hmm. And let's not miss the whole reason why we all started this in the first place.
The way
and why we grab is it, you know.
Yeah. So the way it came about.
Yeah.
We were having a drink. But it's you turn it around. So now me and Star are at the bar hanging out, and our brains start firing. I'm talking within fucking minutes. Charlie Bennett. It's like it gets bad so fucking fast, dude.
I mean, we will go bankrupt to help somebody, you know. And I believe that God will pave the way for us to recoup and just keep doing it if that's what we need to do. You know, if it's meant to be, if the doors need to stay open, nobody's going to shut the doors of God.
Yeah, every time I give a membership away, I shit you not, within seconds, somebody comes in, they steal a package. I cannot make it up, bro. It's like clockwork. So I'll end with this. Tony Jeffries, who is a very good friend of mine, He is one of the top Olympic boxers in the world. He placed third in the Olympics. He won the bronze. He retired as an undefeated. I drove 24 hours to Fort Lauderdale, Florida to train with him for 2 days and drove 24 hours back. And when everybody went to lunch, I stayed back. And I'm like, Dad, I drove fucking the whole day. I ain't going nowhere. I'm standing right next to you, Tony. Talk to me. And it was funny because in the beginning, it was like we were in an AA meeting almost, like all this, everybody's introducing themselves and they're like, yeah, I'm so-and-so from this rich Southampton and I'm so-and-so from this. And I said, I'm Jeff and I'm going to teach people that struggle with addiction. And it's all these tattoos and everybody's looking at me and it's a really rich fucking gym. Saying because I'm cheapest. And anyway, so I started talking to him and he told me exactly what to do. He said, Jeff, if you really want to do this, you need to give, and you never stop giving to the university of staff. He goes, I promise you, with what you're trying to do, he said, do not stop giving. Do not stop giving. And that's exactly what the fuck I did when I got home. I never charged anybody. I still don't charge people. I used to charge people a little bit, but now I don't charge. I don't take a percentage. And it worked.
I love that.
Thanks, Donnie.
That's why you've had so much success. That's why you've had so much success. And the team. We're actually gonna wrap up. You guys have a crazy story, and we've gone through so many different topics about it. It's been like a roller coaster ride, but I really am happy that I've had you guys on, I'm happy that you've gotten a chance to let off some steam.
It's not even that though. It's not even that. If it's not letting off steam, it's like, I want them to be better. I want to be better.
Yeah.
And that right there, it's like what Josh and Eddie said, watering the tree. And I don't really want it. I don't want to hit them. I don't want to fight. I don't want to have a confrontation before, like, it's like, I think that if they hear this in my true self, Sky's true self, then maybe something might hit that says like, dude, I did fuck up.
Yeah.
And I fucked up.
I did too.
Oh yeah, you did. Damn, you broke my fucking door.
Oh, that, yeah.
Sacred, I'm grateful for you, man. Seriously, it's to give us a platform, and I was gonna take it to my grave, So it was unplanned. It really was. It was. They
can still be deleted. No, I'm kidding.
I think it'll be really important, man. We'll come back soon, and hopefully we'll be able to dive into MFC.
Yeah,
I think the community deserves to know the truth, and we'll just have to wait until everything plays out. Stick to the facts.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, either way, it's been a pleasure having both of you guys on. Where can listeners support you online?
Instagram, Sky Productions _99 and FightFlix.tv.
Black Sheep Boxing and MMA _ Okay. Then you say the website, the www.blacksheepboxing1.com. And then we'll do whole brain shut down. But I got it. We offer about 40 something classes a week. Boxing, Muay Thai, MMA, and we have a competitive team. We have moms shedding off baby fat, so we've got all walks of life that are trained at the facility. You do not have to be a competitor. First class is free, and come on in and, just come join the family. Got a lot of new cool things, and, just if you say that you watch this podcast, then we will take 40. Allison Canadian. We will take $40 off your registration fee.
Awesome. Love that. Wasn't expecting that. That's what's up. Well, I got one more question for both of you. We'll start with you, Sky. What's the impact you want to have on the world?
I mean, of course, leaving it better than I got here, but the positivity that my instructors have instilled in me through martial arts, you know, the tenets that we have lived by, the, you know, self-control, indelible spirit, perseverance, you know, just instilling these things that we've learned in martial arts, share that. And, yeah, I think everybody will be better off. Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. How about you, Jeff? Jeff, what's the impact you want to have on the world?
Man, bro, to be honest with you, I don't know. Every day it's different for me. And it's all situational. One day, I don't know, I want to inspire. Next day, I actually want to get, I don't know, actually fucking help somebody. Yeah, I don't fucking, I just want to, just every day, I like, Sky knows who the fuck I am at heart, even though I make a lot of mistakes. And I just care. And that's what my mom taught me how to live. And I fucking miss it. But yeah.
Good.
Well, it was great sitting down with you guys.
She's emotional.
Yeah. It was great sitting down with you guys. I mean, but the impact you said, it's basically you want to help people,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
You want to help people. And you do that. You do it well.
This is the Sacred Thomas Podcast.